Bukharan minaret served as a beacon. Bukharan minaret served as a beacon of Islam, potentially the tallest structure in Central Asia at the time. 47 meters tall, the minaret observed high over the walls of Bukhara and was used to project the Islamic call to prayer. Bukharan minaret earned itself the nickname the Minaret of Death because of the nasty habit of local Khans. Like baby birds with poor footing, those condemned by the Khan were to plummet from the nest of the minaret. Legend says Genghis Khan had originally ordered the destruction of the minaret after the siege, but as he stood at the base, looking up, he tilted his chin so high his helmet fell off his head, forcing him to bow at the base of the minaret. Genghis Khan, impressed by the Bukharan minaret, decided it was to be put in the club of few buildings spared in the sacking of Bukhara. I'm at the walls of the Ark Citadel, the oldest structure in Bukhara. Ark was the residence of the emirs for centuries, with surrounding structures utilised for a multitude of purposes. For ambassadors visiting the Ark Citadel, greetings were a delicate dance that required attention to etiquette. The least attentive of ambassadors, being Stoddart and Connolly, graciously made themselves examples for the importance of courtly etiquette. Stoddart was delivering a message to the Emir, stating that the British had no intentions of invading the Emir's kingdom after the invasion of Afghanistan. On arrival, Stoddart made 3 crucial errors. Stoddart opted to arrive on horseback rather than on foot. Secondly, he didn't bring any gifts for the Emir. And finally, he performed the most heinously disrespectful act. He showed his back to the Emir. All of these terrible wrongdoings left a sore spot for the Emir, and he saw that this naughty behaviour need not be left unpunished. The Emir deemed the bug pit the most fitting form of reconciliation. The bug pit was a 4-metre ditch with an iron bar lid. Luckily for Stoddart, he wouldn't feel so lonely in his new crib, for he shared it with all sorts of creepy crawlies. The guards would toss lice, scorpions, rats, spiders, fucking bit of everything into the pen with Stoddart, hence the name Bug Pit, I guess. After 3 years of his semi-solitary confinement riddled with bugs and beetles and the whole lot, he was finally joined by a man named Connolly. Connolly was sent to Bukhara to retrieve Stoddart. However, the Emir thought that the wrongdoings had not yet been righted. So Connolly was also thrown in the pit, where he would remain with Stoddart for a year. After 4 terrible years in the bug pit for Stoddart and 1 for Connolly, the Emir would finally see to their execution. This is where the foreign embassies were received. In the 11th and 12th centuries, Bukhara had sprouted into a cultural hub for Central Asia due to its location on the Silk Road. It became a primary stomping ground for philosophers, poets, and scientists in Central Asia. The slave trade had been booming for Bukharans, and the city has established itself as an economic powerhouse of the region, rivaling the big dogs of Baghdad as a city of learning, culture, and wealth. However, Genghis Khan was not too fond of nerds. He sieged the city for 15 days, where the Bukharans would eventually succumb to the might of the Mongols. After seizing control of the Ark Palace, Genghis opted not for his typical massacring. For why? I'm not so sure. He must have had a soft spot. Not soft enough to spare the buildings though, considering he destroyed the majority of infrastructure in the city. From Constantinople on the western coast of Turkey to Xi'an in China, caravanserais such as this one formed a commercial web across the Silk Road. Merchants would hitch their heavy loaded camels and get some much needed rest from their days of traveling. Caravanserais served as outposts for trading goods and gossip. They provided overnight accommodation for the weary traveller and essential shelter. The road was a treacherous place. The climates were harsh, though bad weather was only part of the dangers for an honest merchant with a juicy coin purse. There was plentiful pickings for bandits on the Silk Road, who found themselves tied down with business of the not-so-honest variety. Caravanserais were built with this in mind, and boasted tall walls with imposing gates. Guards stood with watchful eyes for the thieving threat. A fortress out from the outside and a haven on the inside. These ruins are left from the bathhouse that was attached to this particular caravanserai in Bukhara. The YAAAAHOHO was a pool that was built in 1620 with a surrounding plaza. The plaza once offered respite for the old tea-loving chess aficionados who sat in the shade of the mulberry trees, primed for checkmating suckers. Bukhara was connected through a series of similar pools, utilized for drinking, washing, gossiping, and vicious king-taking. After years of all the washing and drinking in the same pools of rarely replaced water, the quality of these pools slowly deteriorated, leading to waterborne disease and low life expectancy. In response, systems were modernized and the pools were drained, so today I'll be keeping my king. Rather than the plodding old men who care for nothing but the demise of your king, today you'll find a romantic lunch spot. Considering there's nobody I love more than numero uno, I decided to take myself on a date. The meal consisted of traditional Uzbek dishes such as manti, lagman, and the flaked bread, fatir. Beef was very tender and the noodles were pleasantly chewy. Nice herbaceous flavour from the coriander to complement a lovely hearty meal. The coffee was amazing for Uzbekistan and a little bit shit for Australia. Overall, it was a very pleasant and enjoyable meal. That's going to be the end of the video. Thank you for watching. If you have any feedback, that would be greatly appreciated. I'm still learning. Bukhara has been amazing, really fun. There's a lot of cool stuff to see. Yeah, again, thank you for watching.